So we're going to go ahead and read, how do hurricanes happen? You can get this article in the resource area and follow along, or you can look here on the screen and follow along with me. So it says, hurricanes always begin over warm water. Warm water heats the air just above it. And when air heats up, it becomes lighter and it rises higher in the sky. When a layer of warm air moves up, cooler air fills the space that it has left. This movement causes winds. Over tropical waters with very high temperatures, the air rises very quickly. As the winds and clouds rise, they move faster and faster. They also start to rotate in a spiral. When the wind in one of these spinning storms reaches about 74 miles, 120 kilometers per hour or higher, it is called a hurricane. The whirling motion of the wind makes the air inside the hurricane move even faster. The caption above the picture at the bottom says, hurricanes may begin like this. As winds that merely whip up waves on the sea, a hurricane usually takes days to develop. However, some hurricanes have formed in just 2 days. Top of the next page, the heading says, how do hurricanes die? Hurricanes are created and powered by the heat that comes off very warm water. As hurricanes move over land that is cooler than the sea or over cooler parts of the ocean, they weaken and start to die. A hurricane without warm water is like a toy car with a run-down battery. It gradually loses power, and then stops altogether. Inside that orange box it says, top hurricane speeds. No one really knows the exact speed of the fastest hurricane winds. Measuring equipment is often destroyed by the winds. Some scientists measured hurricane winds at around 185 miles, 300 kilometers per hour. Other scientists say the fastest hurricane winds might have reached 210 miles, or 340 kilometers per hour. The caption next to the bottom image, which is of a hurricane, shows us, the winds are spiraling fast in this picture of the center of a hurricane. The photograph was taken from a space shuttle in orbit far above the hurricane. All right, so we're going to turn the page and now look at the next page. It says, what is a hurricane's eye? The eye of a hurricane is at its center, inside the swirling wind and clouds. If you could fly high above a hurricane and look down inside the eye, it would look like water spinning down a drain. The eye is calm, but the strongest winds spin around the edge of the eye. This is called the eye wall. When the eye passes over land, people below feel just a gentle breeze. The rain stops, and as the hurricane moves on, the winds begin again. In the orange box it says, making your own hurricane eye. You can create your own miniature hurricane eye after taking a bath. When the water spirals around the drain, look right in the middle. There is a dry center. This spot is just like the eye of a hurricane, except that in a hurricane there is spiraling winds instead of swirling water. The caption below reads, this photo was taken directly over the eye of a hurricane. Most hurricanes have an eye between 20 and 40 miles, 30 and 60 kilometers across. Next page, the heading says, how do hurricane rains form? Hurricanes almost always bring very heavy rains. Hurricanes bring rain because they suck water into the sky as they travel across oceans. They do this by a process called evaporation. Evaporation happens when water warms up to a certain temperature. At that temperature, water stops being a liquid and it turns into a gas called water vapor. This is how wet clothes become dry. The water inside the clothes becomes warm and it evaporates, leaving the clothes dry. Water vapor turns back into water when it cools down. Hurricane winds cool down when they get nearer to land and farther away from warm oceans. The water vapor they are carrying turns back into a liquid and it falls from the sky as heavy rain. Here in the image, we see a car that's on the streets. We see lots of wind and lots of rain. It says, large hurricanes can carry huge amounts of water vapor. They can cause incredibly heavy rainstorms like this one during Hurricane Keith. This storm hit Belize in October 2000.